Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2023 World Championships here at the beautiful Westwood Country Club near Washington. Welcome especially to all our overseas viewers. We have something like 130 seats around this court, all rather luxurious. And welcome also to Bill Barker, my partner in crime here.
Thank you, Chris. It's great to be here. Great to have this event here at Westwood. We've been looking forward to it. And it's a great crowd here. Hope people watching feel inspired to chime in online with questions, comments, suggestions as things go along, and we'll try to get to them and expect a great day of tennis.
Good. On view camera now we have Asst, who's the leading light of the Australian Real Tennis Association. He's going to say a few words.
Expect people are still finding their seats. Hard to get any crowd to do what you want on the schedule you want.
Also on court in your site is Tim Edwards, who's the expert photographer, been around doing this for 15 years. Just before we get started, I've had the pleasure of doing some commentary in Britain, but I've never had the pleasure of working with Ryan here before. Very expert setup.
Well, I have had that pleasure, and it's really expanded under Ryan's work in the U.S. There are so many tournaments that are streamed online. A couple of them have been here, and I think it's added a lot of excitement for the players to get the chance to do commentary. We don't always have a former world champion around to do all the tournaments. They're not all ones that we have you in town for, but anytime you are, we'd be happy to get you on for commentary.
Well, thank you. As you're one of the leading members here, perhaps you'd like to tell us about the characteristics of this court.
Well, let's talk about that. I am one of the players who's been on the court, but you've got some DNA in it. I understand you were consulted on this court, as with so many. One of the characteristics I believe that may come into play, and we'll keep an eye on it, is that the size of the galleries has been narrowed a little bit, and that is something that I understand that you've contributed to the thinking on that, Chris.
Well, that's right, yes. I'm an advocate of smaller galleries. I think, just while we're waiting to get started, the two big worries you have at this game are, one, that the service end becomes so important that people just play for the galleries all the time. So making it that teeny little bit harder, just a couple of inches. Is,
how is that done? How is that executed? Raising the ledge a little bit?
Raising the ledge that little bit, yes, by about 2 inches. And bringing the last gallery in by about 6 inches as well. And the other big fear I have is that the receiving end becomes so attractive that players want to remain at the receiving end, and they allow chasers to go deliberately, so you spend the whole time changing in. So the objectives here are to make the game fun to play, not just for the elite players, but for the club players, but also that it's fun to watch. And from my perspective, I think you could hardly create a better situation than this one.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to the World Championship 2023. My name is Asst. I'm the chairman of the Australian Real Tennis Association, and I'm delighted and honoured to be your Master of Ceremonies for this match this week. Also, a welcome to all of those of you who are watching around the tennis world on the stream. Bonjour la belle France, good morning England, and good day Australia. Now, it's hard to think of anyone who would have been more delighted that this match is happening here in Washington than Temple Grassi. The ambassador, as he was known, was the enthusiast in chief for real tennis in Washington, and having a world championship here in the city where he put real tennis on the map was a long-held dream for Temple. Today marks the second anniversary of his passing, and we honour him by imagining how happy he would be today. Fortunately, we have his wife Ellie and two of his daughters, Melissa and Helen, with us here today. Whenever something good happened for Washington real tennis, Temple would say, we did good. And I think we can all say, Temple, you did good. Well done. This is in fact the 70th World Championship match in history. And the match itself is the best of 13 sets over 3 days. So the first player to win 7 sets is the world champion. Today we'll play 4 sets. Some housekeeping for you all, of course. If you haven't done so already, please get your cell phones on silent. No flash photography at all during the match, please. And if you do need to move out of your seat, please do so only when the players are changing ends. I know it's difficult because these guys get a lot of balls back when you think they won't, so try not to call out during play. If you need restrooms, they're down here on the ground floor, or you can go through to the tennis centre. And of course, in an unlikely event of an emergency, just follow the emergency exit signs from wherever you are around the court. Now, I'd like to introduce the officials for the match today. And first of all, the marker himself needs no introduction, from Westwood, Ivan Ronaldson. And very much a family affair, his assistant is Maddie Ronaldson. Now to our players. Our challenger. He's the world number 2. He's won 2 National Open titles. He's the assistant professional at the Racket Club of Philadelphia. From Maidenhead in Berkshire in the UK, John Lumley. Number 1, winner of 26 National Open titles, 2 Grand Slams, the touring professional at the Westwood Country Club, the current world champion from Aiken in South Carolina, Camden Riviere. Please be upstanding for the national anthems, which will be sung today by professional opera singer Ben Edquist.
God save our gracious King, long live our noble King. God save the King. Send him victorious, happy and glorious, long
done the coin toss, Ivan? Have you got a coin?
I do. I guess I will serve.
Can you get some photos?
Same end? Same side?
Yeah, different there. Quarter.
Thank you.
It's like 30-minute warm-up.
Well, Bill, that was quite a performance by Ben Enquist there. How's your singing voice?
Epically bad. It was entertaining to watch Ryan try to make adjustments for the audio, given that it's not the sounds we're usually getting during the court tennis matches. So I don't know where the microphone placements are that, some of the audience cheers are going to be quite loud. Again, much larger audience than we typically have for a U.S. Open or any of the bigger tournaments here. But I'm sure we'll get it down. And by we, I mean Ryan. I'm not going to have anything to do with it. We were talking about the court. So the ledge is a little bit higher. Hopefully that'll give us some longer rallies and we won't suffer a lot of chipping into the galleries, and that is a at times tedious part of the game. The roof is really quite smooth, so that has some effect on the serves. Maybe you can explain what serves that's likely to affect the most.
Well, if you have a very smooth penthouse, that means any spin you put on the ball is going to be retained for the back wall. So that's going to favour the railroad. I expect we'll see quite a few railroads. It's going to discriminate against those high serves, which, because they don't grip on the penthouse, will tend to run onto the back. So I think we'll see relatively few of those.
Yeah, from experience, it is a pretty good court for the railroad. We had another court here in Washington. I'm sure some of the people watching will have played that back in the day. And that was not a good court for railroad, so I've enjoyed having this court allow that to become an important shot. It's got a high ceiling, which we also didn't have. It's not high by the standards of many other places, but at least you can attempt high serves without running it into the lights, which was a problem before. So I will be interested to see whether there are more high serves than you expect. But you're right. Things do have a tendency to end up on the back penthouse.
Well, it's a wonderful feature of this fantastic game of ours, the variety of serves you can produce, given the conditions of the day and the balls and your opponent.
Another aspect of the court that might come into play, the main wall does push the ball out more to the center of the court than a lot of other courts in my experience. That may be a factor of the young age of the wall, and then still a lot of rough spots that the ball grips and then
yes, for
angles.
those who don't know, this court is just under a year old now. And have there been changes in the characteristics of the walls in that time?
Yes, I think that the very beginning it was really sort of exceptionally bouncy off the main wall into the middle of the court, and you really suffered on returns of serve, for instance, if they grabbed the main wall before the floor, and you also suffered if you were not expecting it to come out as far into the middle of the court on a slightly wild shot. So I think that has calmed down. Certainly the players have been on the court enough to read that main wall perfectly well at this point. The floor is pretty true, not exceptionally fast. I don't think there's a lot that distinguishes this floor. We had some problems initially with the timbre. The wrong angle was constructed, but that's been fixed, and it's a pretty normal timbre. It really does reward the catching the main wall before the timbre is usually the case. That'll bury a ball in the back corner most of the time.
Well, both players looking pretty comfortable out there, looking very relaxed too. It's not really surprising that Camden's relaxed. He's been here so often. He's been playing World Championships since 2008. But of course it's John's first time at this position, so you'd have thought there would be a few nerves.
Well, it's hard to speculate on whether they are, and we can't see them. But one advantage I would expect for John is, despite this being the World Championship and very important in that respect, I think it's relatively little pressure on him in terms of expectations of this being, the time that he should step up and grab the World Championship. I think that Cam's record against him is very strong, as it is against everybody else, and it's pretty rare to win in your first attempt.
Yes, I think there's only been 2 occasions in the history of the game where a male player's won the World Championship at the first attempt.
Were they?
Jay Gould in 1914 and an Australian called Robert Fay in 1994.
He's around.
He's around.
He's on hand. He's been working with Team Lumley, helping John. He's got all the experience you could possibly have, not just in World Championships in general, but in World Championships against Cam.
Quite so, and probably worth pointing out that this contest today is going to be the first time since 1981 that we haven't had an Australian in the challenge round. A lot of that time was Rob, of course, but there's also Wayne Davies, who was from 83 right through the end of that decade, has featured in many of the World Championship finals. Wayne Davies, by the way, is now just gone this week to be the pro at the new court they just reopened in Po.
Are we calling that a new court?
Well, it's a restored court, put it that way.
Yeah.
They haven't fully restored it, but it's on the road.
How's that going? I was there in June. I don't know if you also were there on your bike travels. We saw each other in Chinon, which is a little bit further away from being restored, but there's effort and energy and hope that that'll be the case someday.
Yeah, I've been to Po a few times. An absolutely wonderful city. I love it down there. Great climate.
It's quite an interesting color scheme on that court.
It's bright, isn't it?
Yeah, I like it. And what is the state of the reconstruction?
What is the
state of the reconstruction in Po right now? Is it?
Well, they've done a paint job. They still haven't put the timbre back. They haven't put back the penthouse at the hazard end. So there's a few changes to go, but they wanted to get the club started and going, so they had some momentum.
Good.
The other changes they make are going to be much more expensive, so they still have to do some work with the mayor's office there.
Let's talk about the format here. Cam, of course, I'm not sure that I recall his losing any singles match for a very, very long time, other than the World Championship, a couple times to Rob. And
I think I'm right in saying the last time he lost to anyone except Rob was against John Lumley in the National League here something like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's a formidable record.
Yeah, but if John has hope, aside from that, win 10 years ago, it's that Cam's only losses were in the World Championship format rather than a 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5, where he's been completely dominant for that decade. And you've played both, all forms, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5, and World Championship. 4 sets today, 4 sets in a couple more days, and then potentially 5 on the 3rd day. And in terms of mindset for this first set coming up, are there things you would point out in the way one approaches a first set?
Well, there are differences, and one of them is in your first World Championship, you're not used to the format where you're playing such an extended match, and it can lead you to believe that this particular set doesn't really matter that much. 1 set out of 13. It does, of course, but if you go to sleep for a little bit, you can suddenly find critical games go past.
See Ryan running off the court. He was just working on one of the cameras. That's something we may see more than once, as there are so many cameras on the court, and ones that can and will be hit by a ball. And Ryan charges out during changeovers to readjust the cameras if they can be saved, which I think usually they can, but sometimes a wire has to be reattached or a camera angle reestablished. So you may see him at those points.
But just go back to the previous point, the other big difference is when you're playing an extended match like this, is going to bed with a 2-sets-all situation or 3-1 and trying to work out what to do in 2 days' time.
The first of 4 sets, love all. Down. Chase, 1 and 2.
So we did start with the railroad.
1 and 2.
And another one now.
1 and 2. And Chase, worse than 4.
It seems to me, and we'll talk about lefties and righties a bit, that a lefty railroad, if I were able to do anything left-handed and could hit a lefty railroad,
Chase,
I would
1 and 2.
do little else. It seems extremely effective.
Lost the chase. 15 love server, worse than 6.
Solid start by John. He is also serving the railroads.
Chase better than a yard, 30 love. Well. $15.30.
Two for two when he gets to turn and take that as a forehand so far.
$40-30 server, Chase better than a yard.
Going back to the railroads you were talking about, it's interesting that there have been three good players in Britain recently who have been ambidextrous. And they've all chosen to serve their serve right-handed, even though they can serve left-handed.
40-30, receiver leads, better than a yard.
That's the start that John wanted.
1 game to love. Last gallery, no stroke. 15 love. All. And the second gallery.
Well, we've seen some fantastic rallies already.
Well, nothing but railroads so far from Cam. And
Well, he did have the high serves when he was defending that short chase.
yes, that's right.
And the thinking behind that was amazing, by the way. The thinking behind when you're defending a short chase, you want to give your opponent nothing to work with. So just give him a very slow serve.
Stroke. 30-15 receiver. Chase second gallery. Fault. Stroke. 40-15. Chase Hazard, better than the door.
That's really unlucky.
Unlucky. It really is a different game for lefties and righties in this game because of the configuration of the court. Do you think there's an advantage to being lefty or to being righty? Because there are obvious advantages and disadvantages depending on what shot you have to be hitting. But in totality, does it all even out?
Both. $30-40. Chase the last gallery.
Great day.
50 years ago, we used to think it was a great disadvantage to be a left-hander. But the fact is, we now have 3 of the best 10 players in the world who are left-handed, higher than the national average,
leads.
or the international average.
Chase last gallery.
There are fewer in the single-finger handicaps. I think it's still probably a right-hander's game.
Last gallery.
I can't help but feel that this is a
One
critical
game
part of
all.
the whole contest. Camden's such a good front runner that if you let him get away,
Chase worse than last gallery.
very important that John makes a good start here.
Fault. And Chase worse than a yard. 2 chases.
Well, you referenced Cam being a good front runner, and there just are not many occasions when he's not out in front because of the dominance that he's had outside of the World Championship matches, where he's fought Rob to a pretty even record over the last 4 anyway. I would think
No stroke.
John would be
Worse than last gallery.
relatively happy, you know, playing a good set, getting this game feeling good.
Love, the server leads. Chase worse than a yard. Lost the chase. 30 love.
Another high serve and a short chase.
Chase Hazard, second gallery, 30 love. Thank you. Fault. Down, 40 love.
That was a remarkable get, I thought. Cam had in the main wall corner. Normally I'd call that the forehand corner, but of course it's his backhand, which makes it all the more impressive.
Yeah, that was remarkable.
Yeah, seeing the replay right there. And there'll be, you know, scores of remarkable gets like that. When I think of these two players and their strengths and weaknesses and grading shots and aspects of the game on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd be interested in talking about that when we have a chance again.
Game receiver. Receiver leads 2 games to 1. Chase better than 2. No stroke. And better than 2nd.
And let me set up what I mean by that. In terms of forehand, backhand, volley, serves, returns, you know, grading these things on 1 to 10. I think that where I would start with a 10 and to try to keep that category very selective is Cam's court coverage, whether it's footwork, anticipation, natural speed, whatever. I think of that as being a clear 10.
No stroke, better than 2.
And I'm not sure what the other parts are that I would say are anywhere near as near as strong as that part.
Receiver, Chase better than second gallery. Fault.
For my money, Camden's pretty much a 10 out of 10 in every department except his target hitting. For some reason, he doesn't hit targets like his peers.
30-15.
That was particularly apparent, of course, when he was playing Rob, who was the target hitter par excellence.
40-15. $30-40. Time, please. Down. Deuce. Stroke.
In terms of John, he's
Advantage.
an exceptionally quick player as well. His court coverage isn't exactly the same as Camden's, but it's certainly a strength. Historically, John has always done better
2 games all.
on courts
Two
which
all.
are retrievers courts and less on attacking courts.
Down. Chase 1 and 2.
That was well cut, wasn't it?
That was excellent. Yeah, if you do cut the ball, you get rewards
On this court.
on this court. Yeah, on all courts, but this court is, or almost all courts, not Philadelphia maybe, but.
Out of court. 15 love receiver. Stroke. 15 all. $15 all.
Lost one of Ryan's cameras.
15 all.
There are plenty left.
Hazard worse than the door. 15 all.
15 all, 2 all, even up right now, which is, I would say, a good start for John, the underdog. What game plan would you expect that he has come out here with and is so far executing well enough to be even early on in the match?
I think his main objective is not to try and out-rally Camden. He's not going to
15 all.
out-rally him. He needs
Chase,
to
1,
be aggressive.
2.
Well, that translates to hitting targets as part of that.
Lost the chase. 30-15 server. Chase hazard worse than the door. Hazard.
Should be a gallery. No.
Oh. Yeah, he may have had John leaning toward the galleries. And, so I think John catches up with that ball plenty of the time if he gets a good first step.
Chase, half a yard worse than last gallery, 30 all.
To talk about that return when we have some time.
And the first gallery, 30 all.
I recall from either a book of yours or something you said, Chris, that your strategy, at least at one time, was to hit a certain percentage of the shots sort of under the dead end, so it would run along the main wall, and a certain percentage chipped into the backhand corner, or what would be for a right-hander. Sort of leaving aside main wall forces and cut volleys and those. Is that, am I quoting you right
Chase,
on that?
half a yard worse than last gallery.
That's correct. I was never good enough to hit the main wall to be able to make that work for me.
Well, we saw Cam effectively
40-30 server, chase the first gallery.
get the ball under the gallery and then along the main wall and get a sort of a long chase out of it.
Yeah.
Game server.
So we're 5 games in. How many grills have we had?
Server leads 3 games
Have we had
to
a grill?
2.
I don't believe so. Now, if Rob Fay was playing, there certainly would have been grills.
Down. Chase. Half a yard. No stroke.
And Camden didn't like that.
It's tough being a marker.
Thankless.
And Cam does get some balls that are remarkable. Not questioning either Ivan's call or Cam's belief that he got it. There's some that are almost impossible to get right.
Here's our first grill.
There's the grill you were waiting for. There were a couple early dead ends in that first service game where Cam was returning and got to turn on the ball and take it as a forehand.
Rare unforced error.
Yeah, a couple targets there.
Yep, nice winning gallery. And he's in danger of going 4-2 ahead and stretching away. One of Camden's most remarkable shots is his defensive volley. Unlike anyone else in the world, when he takes a defensive volley, he's able to get that ball down onto the floor almost always, which prevents the
40
second
love,
force.
receiver leads. Chase half a yard. Lost the
Good
chase.
serve.
15-40. Receiver leads 4 games to 2. Chase, better than 6. No stroke. Love server.
I feel like I can hear Freddie Bristow in the crowd. John's got some supporters here from Philadelphia, of course.
30 love, better than 6 pending. Down, more than a yard worse, 2 chases.
And I would say from my experience that the Philadelphia crowd, Philadelphia fans in any sport, including this one, are louder than average in their support.
Are they as loud as the ones that were in Aiken for the first eliminator?
Aiken brought some energy to that. Is their home court? It's a little harder to take over a court on the road with your crowd. So that, you know,
better than 6.
Mostly the crowd is local Washington. Plenty of international travelers.
More than a yard worse than last gallery.
Philadelphia is well represented, and I think you'll hear them when John is playing well.
Down. Yeah. 40-15 receiver. $30-40. Juice. Come on, Cam. Whoa.
That was a good opportunity for John at 40-15.
Yeah, 2 strange errors.
Last gallery, deuce. Vote.
So when you're serving railroads at this top level, you have really a choice of serving it slightly short so that your opponent volleys into the forehand corner, or serving it deep, in which case you're likely to get a force. So what governs the length of serve you aim for depends whether you'd rather receive a ball deep in the forehand corner, backhand for Camden of course, or whether you'd rather take a force. When Camden's serving, he prefers to serve a good length one, but has 3 or 4 bounces, so it's harder to predict
Last gallery. Last
exactly which
gallery.
it's going to be.
Stop. Game receiver. Receiver leads by 5 games to 2. Chase better than half a yard. No stroke.
Camden's done that a few times, hasn't he? Wrong-footed John down that main wall side.
That was too good. It was almost a remarkable get, but John had a lot of court to work with there and executed well.
Love. 30 love.
Even with the left hand forehand there, that's just too hard to get off a good main wall timber.
Chase, better than 6. 30 love.
There's that rolled force again.
Yeah, he's featuring that quite a bit, and has gotten good results, I would say, off of it in terms of looking for a chase.
Yeah, and it's usually a better chase than the chase you get for going for a gallery anyway.
So these guys are both trained with you
30 love,
in
receiver
their
lead.
youths. Am I right about that?
Better than half a
Yes,
yard.
Camden worked with me for a year at Hampton Court in 2005, and John worked with me for 3 years at Radley from 2010 to 2013. So I know these guys pretty well.
Lost the chase. 15-30. Chase better than 6.
Great guys, by the way, and good friends.
Anything stand out from your time working with them long ago in both their cases when they were quite young?
Yeah, we had a lot of fun, a lot of funny incidents.
Chase the last gallery, 30 all. Well. Chase, 2 yards, 30 all, last gallery, 2.
So let's talk about that shot, the cut volley return of serve. How do you rate that shot on this court? It used to be a devastating shot at the old Princess Court.
Yeah, it was. And as I say, the main wall will punish you if you catch it before the floor in terms of how wide the ball comes out.
30 all.
It's still a great shot, but I think you have to be more precise on this court.
30 server.
And it's
Chase
a
2 yards.
harder one for Cam to hit off the sort of double-handed high backhand than it is for a righty.
Lost the chase.
That's great serve.
Game server. 3 games to 5. Receiver leads.
Surprised Cam missed that one.
Yeah, big game this. If John can sneak this one, Camden might just start get a bit edgy.
15 all.
That's a tough shot to do on the backhand. Great shot.
Chase the first gallery, 15 all.
That's a good shot.
Sorry, 30-15. 30-15 serve it. Go. All. First gallery.
Big point.
Go.
How many World Championships have you attended?
This is my first.
New boy.
How many of you attended?
Crikey.
Let you work on that one.
Yeah.
We'll come back to it. So we were talking about 10 out of 10s in their games, and we only got as far as John being a good receiver, and I'd be interested in what.
Great play.
That was great play.
Worked him out of position and put it away.
Game receiver. 4 games to 5.
Now, this is
Serve it.
interesting.
4-5. Down.
That's a great return. There's the
Yard.
cut volley to the right length.
Takes 1 yard.
So to answer your question, John has been at Philadelphia for 10 years now, and it's well known that Philadelphia's a court for ralliers. It's hard to cut the ball there. It's a very slow court. So John has become a real expert at keeping the ball in play, keeping the pace up.
Yeah, he certainly added some muscle over the years since he was with you and Radley.
He was pretty strong then. I used to see him in the gym doing pull-ups with a 25-pound weight around his waist. Amazing.
He's continued that kind of training, I think, and he's, you know, particularly known to be a especially hard hitter, forcer, but he has a lot of strength on defending things I've seen.
Well, what's he going to serve and chase a yard? I know that was
Lost the chase. 15 all. Chase worse than 6.
You didn't like that service choice there, defending chase a yard?
not usual to give a fastball.
Won the chase. 30-15 receiver. Down, better than a yard. 30-15.
Greater camera angle there, wasn't it?
And better than 6. 30-15. Chase a yard and better than 6.
For the most part, they aren't continuing to just go with those railroads. Does that make it easier to just hit a rail? Just going to hit a railroad on every first serve.
Yeah, you get into a rhythm of doing that, but you have to be aware that your opponent's getting into a rhythm of receiving it as well.
Did you ever play any matches like that, just to bring out basically one serve for?
No, I always played a different serve every point.
Lost the chase.
That being the exception, the short chase and
Here we go,
back to
first
the
set
railroad.
point.
Ball. Better than 6.
What a fantastic rest to finish the set.
It really was. There were some great gets, some just barely missed targets, possibly attributable to the smaller galleries.
And finishing with a winning gallery. What a way to finish the set.
Server leads by 1 set to love. Love all.
Without having any reason to actually know what's going on in either of their heads, I'm going to speculate that John's feeling reasonably confident about how he's playing. 6-4, that's a lot better than the last time that I recall them facing each other, which...
Yes, the US Open was a very quick match.
15 up.
I think the U.S. Pro Singles may have been the last time they played in Newport, but the U.S. Open had a couple of lopsided sets, but John also won one of them, the third set, I think.
15 all.
But then they played it a month or 2 or 3 later in Newport, and it was very short work.
Yeah, I think it was 6-3, 6-1, 6-love, that one.
Ball.
So let's hope John makes a good start here. That's a bit ominous. Camden get his momentum going.
Finding targets.
Chase second gallery, 40-15.
That's smart play. Had enough of being down the hazard end.
Going back to something you said a long time ago about John's record on more offensive courts and defensive courts. What are the great courts for a retriever and the great courts for somebody with more of a offense related game?
Well, Philadelphia, par excellence, is the court for a retriever.
40-15.
C court is known as the court in England where everything gets cut down. No matter what, even if you only half cut the ball, you've got better than a yard. So you'd think that John would be less effective there.
30-40.
Tight serve.
Chase more than a yard worse than last gallery, 30-40.
So do we think Camden will reach that shot? I think he is that 5% faster.
I think so. I don't know if John is reading it right. He's awfully fast. His nickname's the Rabbit, isn't it?
Yeah, he's quick.
He's quick.
Yeah.
But Cam's going to keep going with it because it's working. That drive into the back wall.
40 server leads.
Maybe
more than a yard worse than last gallery.
Part of the reason to go for that is that if you miss just a little high, you're in the dead ends.
Game server. One game to love. Well,
That's pretty. Now, what is Matty, Ivan's assistant today, covering? Because Ivan seems to be calling those railroads on the roof that he can't see, and he just called another one. He's calling them with great confidence.
Yes, their policy is that Ivan will call railroads on the roof, but if there are any PKs coming in, which you have to hit hard just at the line, then Matty will do that.
15 all.
Did you feel confident calling the railroad from the marker's box?
Back in the day, yes, there's a telltale sign. You can always tell if you've got it right, because at the point where the ball hits the penthouse, a little float of dust comes down, and you can tell if you got it right or not, which side of the line it was.
I've never heard that before. Are you making it up?
30 all.
So you'd reckon to get it right within a few inches. Oh, that's great foot speed.
It is.
40-30 server. Well, time please.
Now this is the real danger for John. If Camden gets super confident here, this
2 games to love. To love.
Sure, and at this point, I think he needs to be thinking about just getting back onto the server side somehow.
This is the point where if you're first time in a World Championship, things can get a bit blurry and they just run away from you. You don't really realise how important the second set is. seemed like a long road still to go. That's 2 great points.
Are there things about the format
30 love.
and the weight to put on various points in a match that you learned after the first
Chase,
World
more than a yard
Championship
worse than last
you were
game,
in
30 love.
that applied to the second?
Just being comfortable in the situation.
Oh.
All the top players are so used to playing 3 out of 5 sets. They're just not used to playing this extended format. It's got better since we introduced it for the eliminators.
And better than 5.
That worked out.
So John, for instance, would have played his first eliminator against Chris Chapman and a second one against Nicky Howe. So he's had this year some experience of playing this extended format.
What did you have to do to earn your challenge?
Well, crikey, it was so long ago. I had to play eliminators against Nord, Cripps and Jimmy
30
Burke.
love, the server leads. More than a yard worse than
But a
last
different
gallery.
format? 3 or 5 or?
More than a yard worse.
No, they were the same format. The one against Nord was only first to 5, only 2 days.
Down. Won the chase. 15-30. Chase. Better than 5. Thank you. Won the chase. 30 all. 30 all.
Down the line backhand, I thought he
30 all.
had a good look at Manuel timbre, which is just hard to get one to perfect length, so that Cam's in trouble on a ball with no special action on it.
Stroke. 40-30. Chase 4 and 5.
It's such a good spectacle, this, isn't it? And the variety of shots you get compared with, say, lawn tennis, and also the fact that there's no bouncing the balls endlessly, and the rallies come so much more frequently. I think watching court tennis, real tennis, is an absolutely fantastic spectacle. If you're a player and you know what's going on, which doesn't apply to many of us in this world.
Not enough, certainly.
40-30, server leads. Chase 4 and 5.
Growing a little bit. Courts are being built more than they're being taken down.
Yeah.
Game server. Server leads 3 games to love.
This is dangerous.
3 love.
So coaching mid-match, not allowed in this sport. But if you could coach John right now on a changeover, What could you do for him?
The traditional response is that if you're winning a match, you want to keep it going quickly. If you're losing, you want to take your time,
No stroke.
have a slightly longer pause to give you a chance to reset. There's a good stat for us.
15 love server.
It's not a time to panic yet, so you don't want to have a radical change of tactics. But I think you could look at tweaking a couple of things, just like varying the serve, for instance. That's the one that's remarkable. Getting the volley on the floor.
It's very hard to hit high backhands in any racket sport, and to control it like that was remarkable.
Yeah, I feel like there's been more grills than that. I'm sure Camden's hit more than one grill. I think whoever's doing the collating must have had an extra couple of glasses of wine at lunchtime. I can picture Camden hitting 2 grills in a row once.
40 love receiver leads. Worse than 3. Won the chase, so better than 3.
So there's hardly a situation where you would have
The receiver, 4 games to love.
gone to the railroad as much as John has. But what would you have pulled out by now?
Well, you see, he has changed the serve now.
15 love server.
And
Just
he
the
gets a
fact
point.
that it's something different, you know, it's people, you're not letting your opponent get in such a rhythm. And now he's doing something different again. That's smart again.
Good length.
$15 all. $30-15.
Good serve there. But again, if he mixes it up,
40-30 server.
Team Lumley will be able to convene after today's play and talk about adjustments. If you were making predictions about day 2, you'd expect more variety on the serves.
Chase worse than 6, 40-30.
I think so. It's traditionally been the case that whoever wins the first day tends to have the attitude, I'll just keep doing this. Whereas the loser of the first day goes, oh, better change something, and then you come out with a few different plans. I remember when I played Howard Angus in 1979. That's 1979, not 1879. I lost the first day quite narrowly, but 4 love, 6-4, 6-4, 6-5, 6-5. I changed something, and I got absolutely thrashed the next day.
Thank you. Juice. Juice. Got it. Sorry.
John needs to get a toe hold to set.
Chase last gallery. Deuce. Go.
That's remarkable control off that.
Perhaps Ryan will count that as half a drill. Probably worth staying while we have a chance. What a fantastic job John Motes has done at putting on this, him and his team are putting on this event. I haven't seen anything that's gone even slightly awry.
Advantage, receiver, Chase last gallery.
There's a huge amount of work goes into the background of this.
Yeah, John's been looking forward to this, and I think he's also looking forward to when it's over.
Lost it, half a yard worse than last gallery. Deuce.
A lot of fun to have it here, participate in it, and great to have the world show up, and great to return to normal life sometimes after something as big as this.
Advantage, server.
On the board.
Game server, 1-4. 1-4. Chase, 6 yards.
It's been
no
a real
stroke.
winner for him, that shot, hasn't it?
It really has. I don't know if John's just leaning a little bit away, or certainly Cam's hitting it well. It's ending up right along the main wall.
Good serve again, change of serve.
And now back to the railroad.
Stop.
But it was a railroad off the main wall, I think. Off the
Yeah.
sidewall.
Yeah.
Down. Chase, 1 yard. 6 yards and a yard. 15 yards.
Railroad is a good serve here, and a good serve against a lefty. Almost always keeping it to their backhand. You don't want it to come out around and let them turn.
15 love, receiver lead.
Steve Vergona's
Chase,
particularly
6 yards.
vicious on what he can do when he's given that opportunity.
Isn't he?
You don't really see that sort of dramatic attack from Cam when he turns around, but he did catch a couple of straight force in a meanwhile early on. What are the other just general serves that you would under this to go after a lefty with
a
beyond
yard.
the railroad?
Chase a yard.
The drag.
I haven't seen people try the drag on this court, and the fact that it has such a smooth penthouse.
Lost it. Fell 2 and 3. 30-15 server. Stop.
Both these players based in the US now, and it's probably worth pointing out that most of the best players in the world are in the US at the moment.
Well, it's not where most of them
30 all.
develop, obviously, but it's just the economics of the clubs here and the life of a pro this side of the pond. Is that it?
40-30
That's certainly a big factor, the lifestyle you're able to leave here and the amount you want the pros are paid.
Game server.
Yep, 5-1.
Server leads 5 games to 1. 5-1. love.
I think it's also the changing demographic of the amateurs in Australia, because when I first used to come to the US, in the US, when I first used to come here, there were very few juniors. Now you have a wealth of them.
One of the prominent juniors, I'm not sure how junior he is, but Noah Moats has been training with Cam. He's been one of Cam's primary training partners, at least here at Westwood.
Nearly a yard worse than last gallery.
And that would have done Camden quite a lot of good, but it would have done Noah much more good.
I'm certainly hoping it does. He's in the Washington team together.
And better than 5.
Which becomes relevant in December for the Whitney Cup, so I'm hoping that Noah's gotten a great deal out of it.
Yeah, so if I'm right in seeing that Westwood or Washington won the Whitney Cup for the first time last year.
Yeah, that's why I raised the topic. Thank you for biting. But to the junior point, the U.S. is, well, it's got a little mini generation of
nearly a yard worse than last gallery.
Really quasi-junior talent. Freddie Bristow, Eric Barker, Noah Moats, Henry Smith. They're all adults in any other sport category, but in this one, they're still referred to as juniors at some level.
15-30. Chase better than 5.
Well, it's certainly needed. The two players on court are aged 36 and 31 respectively.
30 all.
And there's no one in the top 10 who's under the age of 30. And that's not very healthy. This is in the men's game.
That's a good shot.
Receiver.
Set point.
Perfect shot. He needs a lot more of those.
Down, Chase better than 3, deuce. Vote.
Clever shot. Got down to that one beautifully, didn't he?
Really did.
Advantage receiver. Chase better than 3 yards. Better than 3.
Better than 3. Are you anticipating a specific return at this moment if you're the receiver? Thinking cut volley first, and it's not available, and then you have
set
to
yourself
go
up for a cut volley, but if it doesn't,
2 games to 5. 2-5.
if the serve's too deep, you won't be able to play it.
Yeah, there's that too wide main wall. It really came out right in the middle of the court.
And Cam read it beautifully.
Yeah.
Chase better than 2.
All the difference in the world, hitting the floor first.
Better than 2.
That was awfully loose.
He doesn't give many points away like that.
No.
Well,
It's just fantastic defence, isn't it?
It really is. Well,
Defensive volley and then put it away on the floor.
yeah, and a volley that not many people would be able to just take to perfect length there.
40-15, Chase better than 2.
Well, anticipating that John's in a lot of trouble here in this set. It's not going out on much of a limb, but at least he's played his better tennis at the end of the set.
Yep, he might have a bit of momentum going forward.
40-15, receiver leads. Chase better than 2. Better than 2.
Railroad.
Well, you got it. 30-40.
Third set point. No,
Game
no.
in the set, receiver. 6 games to 2.
A little bit of a break in the action after 2 sets. Audience is all going to run to the bar, I suppose.
There's like, you can see the dust and stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to clean the court. It's going to take about 5 minutes.
Thanks, sir.
Just like to say thank you to Bill Barker for his contribution in the last couple of sets and to welcome Bill McLaughlin into the commentary box. What's your view of the match so far, Bill?
Oh, it's incredible. Great to see the student and the teacher. And I speak of Camden and John. And I know that you spent a lot of time with John early on and with Camden early on. Great to see the results of your work out here today.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it thoroughly. Now, you are chairman of the U.S. Court Tennis Foundation. How's things going there?
Actually, great. Thank you for letting us come on and speak a bit. So the Court Tennis Preservation Foundation was founded 30 years ago, and we are the legal entity through which this court was created. So the money gets raised, comes through the foundation, and then we enter into the relationship with Westwood. And this is obviously on the back of all of the incredible work of the Washington team. You know, Haven, Vern, Charlie, John, innumerable people raising the money and building this spectacular court. It just is like a piece of furniture. It's remarkable when you sit in the galleries and view the handiwork and the columns, the ball troughs, the way the court plays. It's just phenomenal to see. And this, as a new court, is pretty interesting in that they brought their community of players with them, right? So it's not a startup operation. And right out of the gate, it has exceeded all expectations in terms of play, and as well with coordination with the Westwood Country Club, which is great to see that.
Well, that's heartening to hear. Now, what else do you have in the pipeline for us?
So there has been talk of a court in Charleston for some time, as you know. There's been a probably 12-year fundraising campaign to build a court there at a site known as Daniel Island. And it became obvious in the past couple of years that the price was going to be too high to build it there. So the project was terminated, and fortunately before a lot of money was spent. So the war chest, which is just under $3 million, is there, dedicated to having a court built in Charleston. We have been approached by a developer who controls a club there called the Charleston Squash Club, and he's considering building a new facility, which would include court tennis, 6 single squash courts, doubles court, and possibly padel. So we are now in negotiations with him and the Charleston Court Tennis Group.
And what form would your assistance take? Is this just providing a tax vehicle or anything else?
That's a great question. So it is a tax vehicle, yes, but importantly, we enter into here in the case of Westwood, we have a 30-year formal relationship with the club that involves the continuation of some form of public access to the court, holding international, national competitions, fostering new players. And we really are the keeper of that. In addition to the local club, the foundation has the legal responsibility to do that. And in the United States, to have anything be tax deductible, there has to be a public benefit, a demonstrated public benefit. So for us and for the game, it's continuation of the game here in Westwood, as we're hoping will be the case in Charleston. So in addition to what we do with new courts, we also have a very robust player development program. And as many know, Camden Riviere was an early recipient of that support. And look where we are today.
Quite so.
Amazing. Now, of course, there's a lot of hard work, a lot of family support that goes into that. Both of Camden's parents are here today. But we've had a number of people come through the junior development programs like Barney Tanfield, Gabe Kinsler, Bradley Allen, who's up here. So,
Third set.
a lot of good results.
Here we go in the third set. Very important for John that he makes a good start here.
You good?
That break
Level.
might just have helped him.
Love.
Now, what great athletes these guys are.
Chase, half yard.
Such agility.
No stroke. 15. 15 all, thank you. (30-15) server. Chase, last gallery, 30-15.
You know, it takes a ton of work to put on a world championship, Chris, as you know. And for Westwood to do this so quickly after their start is just phenomenal. To have the court in such good shape, everybody here, full series of events, it's just great to see. And with a new court coming in Sand Valley, hopefully one in Charleston, that says a lot for U.S. tennis.
Yeah, this place, Westwood, has been an all-round winner, isn't it? I can't see any losers here at all.
It has exceeded everyone's expectations in every area.
Court's been played on from 11 a.m. till, sorry, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. right through the summer. Amazing.
Receiver, last gallery.
It's a clever shot.
30-40. Chase, worse than 5. 30-40.
You know, as I mentioned before, both of Camden's parents are here. Both of John's parents are here. Great to see Penny and Colin. And it is very much a family game, as obviously you can speak to with your family.
30-40. Server leads worse than 5. Game server, server leads 1 game to love. $15 love. Top.
How much have you played on this court, Bill?
I've yet to play on it, frankly. In fact, I haven't been playing much for the past 2 years. Hitting with John Lumley every now and then, which is nice.
I wonder why he was looking so sharp.
40 love. Down. Chase, better than a yard, 40 love. Chase, better than a yard.
Well, it's been a real pleasure to be with you, Chris. Thank you. I'm going to go back to watching the match. And thank you for letting us come on and tell a little bit about the Preservation Foundation, because we couldn't do what we do without the real hard work of the people that raise the money, that write the checks.
Well, thank you for explaining about Sand Valley and about Charleston, and we're most impressed that you have a $3 million war chest. Good luck with it. Good luck.
$15.40. Stop. Game server, 1 gone all. Love.
It's notable that many more
15
points
all.
are won with wall timbres than direct timbres.
30-15. All. Chase, better than the door, 30 all.
That's come off the edge of the last gallery. A lot of people think that's in galleries, but it's not. Another great grill guy, Camden, starting to look very bouncy. Camden played his first World Championship in 2008. On his 21st birthday it started in Fontainebleau. So he's been around the world playing it on all 4 countries.
Better than the door.
Fantastic series against Rob Fay.
Won the chase. Game receiver.
Amazing play.
Receiver leads 2 games to 1.
Let's see what John's got.
Receiver.
Fantastic court coverage, fantastic retrieving.
30 love.
Camden reads the ball so well.
Chase, half a yard worse than 6. 30 love. Hazard second, 2 chases, 30 love.
So it's very hard to know what John should be doing now. He's up against an absolute machine when it turns. I don't think he can afford to keep playing rallies extended like this. He's got to start hitting more targets, finishing balls early.
30 love, server leads. Chase, half a yard worse than 6. Half a yard worse than 6. Won the chase.
Nice positive shot from John there.
15-30, Hazard second. All.
Yep, that's the aggression he needs.
30 all. .40-30 server. There we go, Cam. Good serve. Game server.
We've had a couple of messages from our overseas listeners
3-1.
enjoying the coverage. Mike Henman and Leslie Ronaldson from England.
And court. 15 love receiver. That's good serve, Cam. 15 all.
And there's another example of why John shouldn't get into extended rallies.
30,
He has to finish
15.
the points a bit earlier.
Chase 2 yards.
That's the way.
Chase 2, 30-15 serve.
Yes, take risks of making the odd mistake in order to get those winning shots in.
Go. And chase
Yep.
1 and 2.
The series that Camden played with Rob Fay, starting in 2008, has been a fantastic series. In 2008, Rob won by 7-5, 6-5 in the 12th set. That was when Camden was just 21 and Rob being 18 years older. Then the next time they crossed swords was in Melbourne, where Camden led 2-0, but Rob hauled him in and eventually won by 7-3.
30-15 receiver.
Then 2016, when Cam took the
Chase
title
2
off him.
yards.
2018, when Rob won it back in the most exciting fashion at Queen's. And then finally at Preston Hall last year, where Camden won and Rob retired.
Lost the chase. 30 all. Chase 1 and 2. 1 and 2. .40-30 server. Down. Chase. Worse than 3. 40-30.
Some more statistics for us.
(40-30) receiver leads. Chase worse than 3.
Sorry to repeat, but I'm not sure at all about those statistics.
Lost the chase, fell better than 5. 30 all.
John will be disappointed with that. He'd reckoned to win, beat the chase off that ball.
Juice. Last gallery, Juice.
Welcome Bill Barker back to the commentary position.
And has it second, Juice.
It looks like things are going about the same as when I left. Cam in control, largely.
Yes, John made a very good start to this set, winning the first game. It looked as if the break it had while they cleaned the court had done us some good, but normal service has been resumed since then.
All right, last gallery. Gets these 2 points, he's in the set.
Chase the last gallery.
What are you thinking? I mean, are we just going to see a railroad?
He's been serving railroad on chases, even short chases.
Advantage server.
And if he'd keep them there, he'd be fine.
That one worked. I mean, hazard
Second gallery,
isn't
hazard.
always appropriate. Hit a railroad on a hazard.
Down. Juice.
That's a tough volley to make.
Well, yeah, and John was leaning toward the main wall, understandably.
Advantage. Advantage server. Game server.
Now, are we in for a fight?
3-2.
2
I mean,
games to 3. Receiver leads.
Switching his serve. I don't think he meant that. I think he was going for a demi-piqué.
I think he missed by a lot if he was going for a demi-piqué. Or at least where I would put the bounce. That's pretty.
15 all.
Those high bouncing balls, important to hit the ball right at the top of the bounce.
Server.
Philadelphia faithful have got their first whiff of close tennis here in a little bit.
40-15. Chase, better than 5, 40-15.
That's really been the difference between these two players today, hasn't it? That half nick under them, under the dead on.
Yeah, I'm not even sure that was really a drive. It had a little bit of arc to it, I felt. But it came to the right length. And
it was well disguised too.
Yeah.
40-15, receiver leads. Chase better than 5.
That was really about as loose a serve as you might see Cam hit all year.
3 games all. $15 left.
Another awfully good controlled volley, cross court, good length.
Server.
Oh, that was a shot. I feel like might have gone in a different gallery. It was just, that's what he was lining up. Simple last gallery shot, I feel. High by 1.5 inches.
Chase second gallery, 40-15.
2 inches higher that time, and he got the post. He wanted to get over one shot earlier, I think, back on the service side.
It's a very good-looking court, this, isn't it? That white surround and sort of dignified grey walls. A lot of the modern courts are painted in garish colours. This is really classic, isn't it?
Classic colors. The roof stands out, and in terms of the coloration, and not all to the good. There are
Lost the chase.
some who struggle with seeing the yellow ball on that roof. So the penthouse is still, I think there's talk here and there about whether there's going to be anything changed with the stain on it.
Chase, better than 6.
I'm told that the balls for this match were made by Darren Long at Manchester. Darren has quite a lot of experience of doing these World Championship balls because my brother Steve did them for 20 years. And Darren worked with Steve for a long time. That's the difference. Camden gets those balls, doesn't he?
Yeah, his anticipation for running forward to meet the ball off of a
30-40, server leads. Chase better than 6 yards.
ball running hard off the back wall is extremely, one of the many impressive things about.
Well, let's watch where he takes up his position. After he's served, he's running across at chase 4 or something.
Deuce. Chase, more than a yard worse than last gallery. Deuce. Fault.
We don't have the sort of statistics available for this, but it does seem that every time the rally gets to be long, Camden wins a disproportionate amount of them.
I'm sure you're right. He is, you know, just to cite the RTO, the stronger player by whatever, 7, 8
Chase
points
more than a yard
handicap,
worse
something
than
like that.
last
The
year.
longer the point goes, the more likely the better player in any situation is going to win it. Good shot from there.
Vote.
A little dangerous for your son there.
Well, that's unusual.
Advantage.
I thought that was going to be a main wall. I mean, even if he hit what he was trying to hit there, what was it going to be?
I think he changed his mind at the last minute.
Deuce.
That was fantastic.
I felt like John should have won that point 2 or 3 times. That he had the shot that he wanted to hit it to the right spot with the right length and cut, and Cam just got his racket under it somehow.
Game receiver. 4 games to 3.
Whoa. Not often you see Camden blowing.
I think he really played 2 exceptional points there.
Best points of the match, really, weren't they?
Well,
15 love.
John would have been very disappointed not to win that point with the ball that hard off the roof and set up to his forehand. And Cam almost got it. But
30 love.
definitely more mistakes from Cam racket errors in this set.
Yeah, I do get the impression John's being a little bit more aggressive, which is what he needs to do.
Vote. Stroke. 15-30.
Yeah, it's just too short. I mean, Cam got a
15-30, no chase.
running start on that.
Double-handed backhand, yeah.
30 all.
Deceptive how high the net is when you're that far up the court. Yes, great shot.
40-30. 40-30.
It's been a while since we had a change of ends.
Oh. Advantage receiver.
Yep, another long rally.
John went to Cam's backhand a lot in that point. But Cam's not really missing them from there, so.
Game receiver. 5 games to 3. Well. Love.
Great retrieving by John that time. I think I'm right in saying he's been up there for about 3 games now. Service end.
Love.
There the whole last game, I think, and I'm not sure how much of the game before.
Oh.
They switched sometime during the 3-all game, I thought. Yeah.
40 love service. Chase, 2 and 3, 40
There's
love.
the chase at last. One of the few times I've seen Camden under pressure in the last 10 years, except for against Rob, and only in World Championships then, was when he played a match, I think in the quarterfinals of the British Open, when against Tim Chisholm, and Tim absolutely ripped into him, and it's arguable that Camden was only saved because when he was 2 sets to 1 down, lights failed at Queen's, and there was a 20-minute intermission, during which time Tim, as the older player, stiffened up a bit. But Camden was really under pressure then, because Tim's attack was so remorseless.
There was a match in Chicago.
40 love, receiver leads, Chase 2 and 3.
Cam and Steve Vergona, I want to say it was the final of the U.S. Open. Steve had a really good look at that match. I can't remember what year that was. And the crowd was
15-40.
particularly vicious that night. And Cam was having a lot of trouble, I think, getting even a single clap for his remarkable shots. Steve was getting great support.
Well, that's interesting. Cam's come back from 40 love down here.
Out of court.
I think he wanted that gallery again.
Yeah, he's John will be disappointed with that.
Deuce. Advantage server.
And that brings up set point.
That's rare.
Deuce.
It's hard to
Especially
control
on
the
set
ball
point.
here, but I feel like Cam has been erring toward being willing to hit the bobble short.
Advantage server.
He's sort of gone to a bobble here on everything at the moment.
Chase, 2 and 3.
Yeah, good disguise there. Shaped up for the main wall force.
They're almost perfect length on that bobble. I thought it was gonna die along the back wall a little bit more than it did. No, I guess I misread how close it was there.
Yeah, it was great, wasn't it?
All right, we're at set point again.
But a tough one, 2 and 3. On form, John will serve a railroad.
Against your advice,
No, not 2 and 3.
it is to a lefty as well, so
Chase,
that
2 and 3.
You probably want to serve it deep rather than onto the volley. There we go.
Won the chase. The Six games to 3. Bathroom break.
Now this is an interesting point because when you're playing a regular 3 out of 5 match, once you've lost 3 sets, you instinctively feel the match is over, or if you've won 3 sets. So keeping in mind that the 4th set of the day is just as important as all the others. It's not instinctive. It's something that you have to acquire. And of course, one of the more fantastic records that Rob had was that for something like the first 31 times he played a World Championship day, he always won the last set of the day. 31 times in a row. Even when he lost the first day of the World Championship in 2016 to Camden, he lost it 3-1, but he still won the 4th set.
Well, I certainly think if John can win a set, he's going to, especially the 4th set, he'll come off feeling okay. There haven't been any blowout sets. It's been competitive.
It's
But,
been competitive.
Cam's. I think he's the heavy favorite based on his record, and nothing's been too surprising. It's been competitive. It's been close, but it's been Cam.
Yeah. It hasn't been, to be fair, it hasn't been as exciting as it has been in recent World Championships with Rob Fay playing, the tremendous contrast and styles that he and Camden have. But it's been absorbing.
John has been working with Rob a bit this week, also with Steve Ragona to get some practice against a lefty, and Rob's got all this mileage and experience playing Cam in this format, so good couple of guys to be working with. But now, are they allowed to say anything to him during this break?
No, not at all.
That's what I thought. Freddie Bristow is here. Let's see if we can get him on the mic. He's the one everybody wants to hear. And by that, Chris has pulled off his headset, which is the wrong one of us to be doing that. Maybe Freddie and I'll talk for a minute and then get Chris back on. There is a break in the action.
Hello, everyone, and hi, Bill.
Hi,
hi,
Freddie.
Chris.
How's senior year going?
Senior year is going well. It's just started, 3 weeks in. What are your thoughts on this match, though, Bill? It's fantastic tennis, isn't it?
Fantastic tennis, and I really would say when I got out to the court, I just appreciated how much harder they were hitting the ball, how much faster they were moving than watching on the stream. As good as the stream is, you can't appreciate
It's a great
the
start
level of
from
tennis.
John in that fourth set. Fantastic fourth.
And you were bringing a lot of energy. Heard you several times when things looked good for John. He needs that help from the galleries.
Yeah, the atmosphere is electric in there, with a lot of supporters for Cam and a lot of supporters for John, myself included. So who are you supporting for this match then, Bill? Obviously Cam's been down in DC quite a bit, but you have some allegiance to Philly a little bit.
Philly, my hometown, and it's been great to have Cam working out of here. But I default to, at least, at moments like this, where it's 3-love and rooting for the underdog.
Yeah. I think most people here do want to see a day 3.
Yeah, everybody wants to see a day 3. Everybody wants to see great tennis, and that is of necessity going to mean you want John to play the best match of his life, I think.
Well, I think he's playing brilliantly. I think in that last set, he got unlucky. I think the last 3 games all went to deuce. And it could have been, it was 6-3 at Cam, but it really could have been 6-3 John. And it's just those small important points which are the deciding factor for Cam's 3-set lead.
Now we announced you a little bit sitting down here with us. Not everybody in the world knows you yet, but you're playing out of Philly, senior college in town there, and on the court with John much this fall?
Yeah, well, I've been playing a little bit. So I got back. I played with him a week before he came down here, and I was replaced by Steve Ragona and Rob Fay, who are slightly better than I am. Yeah, so I'm hopefully when he's back in Philly, I'll get on court more. There's a few tournaments coming up for me. I've got the Below Zeros in New York, which fortunately doesn't feature either of these two. Both plus handicap, so it's only 0 to 9s really. But yeah, it's great having John in Philly. Being able to train with him is fantastic.
Well, I'm going to let you talk about that with Chris, who's back here and ready.
Oh, that's a good start for John there. 1-love in this 4th set. Can he continue the momentum? So, Chris, what do you think John has to do differently to sort of push Cam to in this fourth set?
I think he has to go for shots much more. I think he has to be much more aggressive. He cannot afford to get involved in long rallies. He just loses 80% of those.
Yeah. I think neither player is really making many mistakes. They're making many mistakes at all. And I think Cam is just so impressive with putting that final shot away.
And better than 5, worse than a yard, better than 5.
It's a good start here for John, though.
Yeah, he made a good start in the last set too. He's got to find a way of keeping it going. I was saying to Bill that one of the difficulties of playing this format, if you're not used to it, is reminding yourself that the fourth set, even if you're 3-love down, is just as important as any other set.
Yeah.
Chase
Tends
worse
to feel,
than a
oh, I've
yard.
lost today, and just letting it go.
Like, even if you win this first set and then win the first set day 2, it's 3-2, and you're right back in it.
Yep.
And so hopefully that's what's on John's mind at the moment. He's got a stacked sort of crowd, entourage, so to say. He's got both Steve Vigone and Rob Fay in his half. And
yes, I think he'll be glad you've joined the commentary team too, because I think we could hear you cheering for John as well.
well, yeah, I'm sure Cam's a bit happy about that. He gave us a bit of a, after winning I think the second set, he sort of signalled towards me and Will Hopton, who are both being a little loud in the gallery, so to say. And hopefully we're spurring John on. That's our whole goal. And
Yeah, everyone wants to see a close match.
yeah, I don't think anyone wants to see a blowout. So, and who knows, maybe John can do one of the wonder comebacks of this.
It would be remarkable.
Yeah, it would be.
He's certainly fit enough, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, Cam looked a little winded there in that third set.
Yeah, they had a couple of really long rests.
Yeah, they did. But unfortunately, John couldn't capitalise. But maybe in this fourth set, that wariness will come into play. There you go.
Look at this. Game in 40-love.
40-love server.
It's a great start. You can hear Robbie Whitehouse there in the crowd.
Stroke.
Oh,
15-40.
tough.
So when are we going to see you in a World Championship match?
Well, court tennis, I think I've got a little while. I'm focusing on my rackets at the moment. Maybe I'll have a chance of getting into that World Championship at some point in the near future. But these two are just another level at the moment. I don't think these two are both at the top of their game, and I don't think
30,
anyone's going to really take them down anytime soon.
They are 10 and 15 years old and older than you, respectively.
Yeah, so I've got a bit of time. But who knows how long Cam will last. Playing very well. Living up in Boston now, so he's back near a court.
Is he? I thought he was in Florida.
No, he's in Boston. So he planned to move to Tampa. And then... that's great.
There's 2-love.
There's 2-love. That's fantastic. Fantastic start there for John. Can he keep the momentum going?
2 games to love.
So you're concentrating on rackets. Isn't that a bit like playing drafts instead of chess?
Well, I just love rackets, to be honest. I'm not... Court tennis is a great game. But I think rackets is where really my heart lies. Ryan Carey signaling me to get out now that I'm saying rackets is better, but it's a exciting sport, and there's some good players down in Philly. I'm hoping to try to convert John to a bit of a rackets player after this World Championship. We'll see how that goes.
John played a bit of rackets when he was at Radley.
Yeah, well, he played a bit of rackets in his year in the UK. Training a lot with Tom Billings and Ben Coulson up at Queen's, and he's a steady player. Plays a similar style as he does on the tennis court. Just is able to retrieve everything.
Yeah.
John's really been working on his movement as well, And I think it really has paid off. Able to get around the court so well. It's just some incredible gets.
Camden thought he'd lost that point.
I know. And he still has.
Yeah.
Cam's looking a little slow, I do have to say. I think
he might be blown.
I think he is a little tired. I saw him outside waiting for the bathroom after the third set. And he was huffing and puffing a bit.
Yeah, it may have been a tactical bathroom break because he'd had a long break at the end of the second set while they cleaned the courts.
Yeah. Is that usual to clean the courts midway through the match?
No. I have seen it before, but it's not usual.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
And
this court is very quick. I think Cam's probably weapon to getting back onto that service line is that just straight backhand force. There's nothing John can really do about it. Cam's just nonchalantly getting that back. And I've got to give a shout out to Ryan Carey. He provides these unbelievable live streams that's streamed across the world. Hopefully, for those tuning into Australia, France, and the UK, you're enjoying the match so
Well, I'll
far.
certainly second that. We'll even forgive him his dodgy statistics.
Hazard 1 and 2. Hazard chase.
He's best part of the games, to be honest. Ryan Carey.
Out of court, out of court. 30-15 to hit the edge of the wood. 30-15
loose
server,
shot from John
half a yard
there.
worse than 6.
Don't see many of those. Neither of them have been hitting it up too often.
Yes, notable when you do a high force here, it doesn't go out of play.
Yeah.
It just gets a long way up the court.
40-15.
That is unlucky.
So what's been John's game plan?
Well, I don't want to reveal too much as it is only day one. He might switch it up, but I know he's trying to target that backhand a bit. Obviously, Cam's backhand is still unbelievable, but his forehand is something else. And he's trying to be a little bit less predictable. I think in Newport, he was mainly aiming for the grill and tambour, and Cam sort of read onto that and picked it up.
Yeah.
And so I think John's just switching it up a bit, hitting a bit more to his backhand side, forehand side, just keeping Cam on his toes. And he's definitely playing like a lot better against Cam in this World Championship than he did in Newport only a few months ago. I think the score there was
the 6-3, 6-1, 6-love. I know this has been a real contest. Yes.
So,
even more so if he clings on here.
Yeah, and we hope he does.
So next time we have a break, give us an idea of what John's training schedule is.
Yeah.
Oh, he should have gone for the hazards there.
Still good. I think it's an important game here. Get ahead. I think that's deuce now. I don't know if the score is updated.
No, I think it's deuce too.
Deuce.
Yeah. I think Matty might be behind on the score. There we go.
Chase.
Oh.
4 and 5.
Some great
deuce.
gets. Cam has rolled that into the neck. Go on a chase.
He rolls a lot of his forehands, doesn't he?
Yeah. it's effective. He gets the right length most of the time.
And better than 3. 4 and
So,
5.
tell us about John's training schedule.
Yeah, so John, I obviously was in the UK for most of the summer, but before I was training with him for the Eliminators, and he trains very hard. So he plays, I think most of the summer he played 2 hours a day with a few people. I played with him a few times. Robbie Whitehouse trained with him a lot.
So he's 2 hours on court. How many hours off court?
A few hours off court as well. He's got a personal trainer where he literally goes to the limits, and I've done a few sort of training sessions with him, and I can only last about 15 minutes. He really has worked hard to be here, and
4 and 5.
it's been a big sacrifice for him.
Lost it worse than 5.
So well
Advantage
left.
server, better than 3. Fault.
Yeah, it's a great shot from John. Uncharacteristically loose from Cam right there. I think he's become a bit more relaxed in this final set.
Is it relaxed or is it tired?
Advantage server.
Could be a bit of both.
Yeah.
I think,
He knows how important the set is.
I know. He should from his previous World Championships.
Is that a broken string?
Be. I like this new camera angle that Ryan's added to the repertoire.
Advantage server.
This is a new camera angle. Yeah, it's very good. Yeah. Oh, that's a great shot.
Half a yard. Advantage, better than half a yard.
I think Cam doesn't like that call.
Better than half a yard. A horrible half a yard.
No, yeah, I think Cam thinks that's sort of stroke, but did look from here that it's 2 bounces. See it again.
Advantage receiver.
It's hard to tell.
Better
Yeah.
than half a yard.
Hard to tell for the marker as well.
Yeah.
Stroke.
Oh, that is unlucky.
Game
That is
receiver,
unlucky.
1 game to 2.
But it's still a very odd choice of serve for a half-a-yard chase.
I think John's sort of thinking there is that if you hit anything that goes on the back wall, that's not a railroad. He's turning and hitting a main wall dead on, which is so deadly from Cam. But if I was him, I'd probably try to hit a short railroad.
Yeah? He's not going to beat half-a-yard in a volley, is he?
No. I think it was better than half, so that's fantastic.
Vote.
That's good. Just lows there from John, but just that slightly loose shot let him down.
Yeah.
(30-15) receiver. Out of court.
Unlucky.
40-15.
John really needs to fire back up here. Good serve.
From John's point of view, I don't like it on the long rallies. He's
Cam's
struggling
looking a bit tired there, yeah. Good, great rally though. Cam really putting in the heat there for that dead-on winner.
Game, receiver, 2 games all.
Maybe that game took it out of Cam. John take advantage. Great get from Cam.
Receiver.
John did have a couple, not John, Camden did have a couple of health scares, didn't he, a few years ago?
Yeah.
Is he completely over that?
I think he is, from my knowledge. I haven't heard anything otherwise. You probably would have been keeping that quiet before the World Champs if there has been.
Yeah.
But to the best of my knowledge, I think he's all better from all those health scares.
30 love.
On a bit of a roll here.
I might have to go back out in a second, get the noise going. That's a good shot from John. And here, Will Hopton there, really leading the supporters.
Yes, Camden must be a bit fed up with this because he's had 15 years of very biased crowds against him, against Rob.
Chase, 4 yards.
That has been his outstanding shot.
Just
flicks it into the nick there.
Just nothing John can do, really. Ooh.
30 all.
Yeah, big point here. Will Hopton, very good rackets player. Really bringing the rackets crown to the game.
Down.
Oh, that's a great shot from John. Cam looking a little slow there.
Yeah, he does. I've not seen him like this before.
The pre-World Championship video I saw on Instagram, it looked like he's been doing a lot of training. So surprised to see that he's looks winded after 3 sets. John has been doing well just to move him around. Look, he's looking pretty tired.
40-30, receiver leads. Chase 4 yards. Chase 4.
It's just incredible gets. Makes it look easy.
Advantage server.
And not many of those unforced errors.
From either player.
Game server.
I think that's also one of Cam's most incredible. main ball defense
Server leads
is
by
phenomenal.
3 games to
Honestly,
2.
some of the gets I've seen is just, it's also on his backhand as well. You got to, I think
15 love.
really getting into the groove now. Think there's any lefty with a better backhand main ball defense in ever?
Backhand?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Last gallery, 15 love server.
Not shot. Let's Cam out of that rhythm.
Go. Chase, 1 and 2.
Great shot from John. So no matter what happens in this fourth set, what do you think John has to do in day 2 to really get going back into this match?
Well, I was saying to Bill in the early part of this commentary that the only time I've seen him under pressure, Camden, is when he was being beaten by Tim Chisholm at Queen's a few years ago, when Tim just launched all-out attack.
So do you think John should, because I know John likes to keep it on the floor, keep it low. Do you think he should start changing it to forces?
Go for his targets, and just don't get involved in long rallies. Even if it means putting in a hazard gallery.
Down. Won the chase.
To be fair, that was one
love.
of Rob Fay, I think, as he got
1
older
and
as well, he
2.
got better at hitting his targets. And even age 50, the last World Championship, he
was 54 at the last one.
54, yeah, exactly. He was able to.
Still hitting targets all over the place. In 2016, when Rob was defending at Newport against Camden, he lost a couple of stone in weight. He was trying to be as young, as fit as Camden, but he wasn't. And for the next World Championship, he put on those 2 stone back again, and he just went for power, and it really worked.
Chase nearly a yard worse than last.
Yeah, it's like even there was an opportunity,
15-30.
John, to hit it in the grill, and he just sort of went in between.
Yeah.
And that's where you really gotta hit those winners.
And worse than 5.
Really does come out a lot on this court.
Yeah.
And so
How much have you played here?
I've played here a few times. I played the US Amateur here in April. Unfortunately lost to Rob Shankman in the final. He's playing very well. And then I also played in the Van Allen and Clothier Cup in July, where the US...
The US did very well in that.
Yes, we beat the UK and Australia quite comfortably.
30-15.
Which I think is the first time ever that we've really beaten the
Chase
UK
nearly a yard worse than last
that
gallery.
easily. But unfortunately, it could be the last time. We're lacking in numbers for the next Van Allen tour.
40-15.
Because everyone's got too old?
Worse
Yeah.
than
So
5.
out of the 4 members on the team, 2 are going to age out, unfortunately. So it's going to be me and Eric left. Eric Barker, that is. Bill's son. And 4C now.
Server leads by 4 games to 2.
John's got to do a lot here. He was 2 love up as well. So Cam's really taking the momentum. If he gets to 5, I might have to leave the commentary box.
15 love.
I think Cam has actually sort of changed his game a little bit now that he's gone more tired. He seems to have been hitting more targets.
Going for it, yeah. Well, I was saying earlier that normally a weakness of his game is his target hitting.
Yeah.
Worse than a yard. 15 love server.
Yeah, I think this last set he's hit probably like 5 or 6 grills.
John bouncing around there, showing how fit he still is.
Yeah, he's impressive. Oh, that's lucky.
30 love server. Chase, the second gallery. 30 love.
I think I might have to go out and support Chris.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Well, thank you for joining us.
No.
It's been a pleasure having your insights.
And will you be here Tuesday?
I shall.
I will see you Tuesday, and I may come back on the commentary. Thank you, everyone.
Look forward to it.
And I hope you have a good rest of your match.
30 love, receiver lead.
Very much at the sharp end of
Chase
things now.
worse than a yard.
Will he go back to his railroad again? Yep. And it's a deep one. Such a wrong serve.
Lost the chase, fell 2 and 3. 15:30, second gallery.
Well recovered.
All. .40-30 receiver.
Clever shot by John there.
Deuce.
Interesting hearing Freddie says he's trying to target Camden's backhand there.
Advantage server. Oh. Game server.
And if the volume of the
3
crowd has gone up,
games
that's
to
because
4.
Freddie Bristow is back out there.
3-4.
Let's go, Cam.
Oh, 2 amazing gets by Camden there, but John got a little bit lucky, took advantage.
15 love server. Love. 15-30. Stroke. 30 all.
This is a big point.
Yeah. Receiver. Down. Chase worse than a yard. 40-30.
That was amazing. I love these replays that Ryan gets us.
40-30. The server leads. Chase worse than a yard. Lost it, fell better than 2. Game to the server. 1 and 2.
John still fighting.
1 and 2. All.
Great court coverage again.
30-15 receiver. All.
Come on, Cam.
And that brings up match point, or not match point, but the 4th set point. It's hard to appreciate when you're watching on the screen just how fast that ball's going and how little time these players have to react. Just a massive experience. Camden been playing now for 30 years and John for 25. Both close to the peak of their game. We are lucky indeed.
The receiver leads. Chase. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Lost the chase. Deuce.
Nearly hit John. Great time to get a grill. Oh, fantastic play. This could get really tense now.
Chase second gallery. No stroke. And chase 6. Second gallery and 6, no stroke.
So we've been playing for almost 3 hours now. Both players proved themselves worthy, and the court has certainly proved itself worthy of holding this ancient championship.
No stroke. Chase second gallery.
Reputed to be the oldest world championship in sport.
Won the chase. 15 love. Receiver leads. Chase 6 yards. Fault. Lost the chase. 15 all. Chase worse than 4.
Yes, excellent disguise
Worse
there.
than 4. 15 all.
Short backlift.
Thanks, Tom. 30-15 server. 1 chase worse than 4. All. Worse than 4.
Which brings up Camden's second set point. Crowd getting very excited here. Worse than 4 to beat.
40-30, receiver leads, chase worse than 4. Worse than 4, 40-30 receiver. Oh. Lost the chase. Youth.
Still fighting. Well read.
Advantage. Receiver.
Third set point.
Advantage receiver.
But this time no chase to beat. John picking just the right ball here.
Chase last gallery, advantage.
So it's quite likely Camden will try and serve a serve that gets John to hit the ball towards the right-hand corner so that he can play gallery himself.
Advantage server. Advantage server, Chase last gallery. Game and the set, server. 6 games to 4.
What a fantastic day's play. And although John's lost by 4 sets to love, he's done pretty well. He's given himself a grounding. When he comes back out on Tuesday, he might have tweaked his tactics a bit, and he's right in there. He still has a chance. Congratulations to both players, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
Server leads by 4 sets to love. 6-4, 6-2, 6-3, 6-4. Good start. Well done.